Hey guys, so at the end of the last tutorial I posted, I was readjusting the size of the composition because when I put in the rule of threes, which was the dividing the composition into three parts. Horizontally and vertically. You come up with points of you come in with points of interest for the viewer. So in this particular case, this general region here is of interest, a point of interest of the robot arm, which leads up to the top of the robot arm. But this all creates this triangle with the robot in here. Obviously, it would create interest. But you also have lead outs, and we have interest over here, this area, and then these pipes that lead you back in. So I think it works pretty well. I resized the composition slightly, put a couple extra elements in there for filler. Now I'm going back in and re-cleaning up the lines again. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, and it's going to take a little while. So I'll just tell you that right now. I don't usually speed my videos up, so you can watch it at twice the speed. That's okay. So all you're gonna hear is me. Maybe I'll sound like a chipmunk or something when I'm talking because I'll like, whatever. I don't know, or just mute it, just speed it up. So I'm just gonna be doing that. I'm just gonna be cleaning up this drawing a little bit more. As you see, I already have. Now I want to show you what I did with this. So the way I did these circles, and I should have shown you this because I did this in between filming of tutorials. Because I just had a couple minutes. I had a little bit of short amount of time the other day between other things to work on it a little bit, and I started doing this. So what I did was I take a guide, I put on the edge of where I want the circle to be. So I wanted the circle to be here, so I put there, and then I took another circle, I put it here on the top edge of the circle. Okay. I don't know what circle this is. If I can find it, so I can make it disappear. As you can see the way I did it. It's probably the one circle I can't disappear. Where the heck? It's one of these layers. I did a lot of them, obviously. Okay, there you go. Alright, so I put it here and here. So let me just make a layer above this, and I'll just get rid of it after I'm done. I just want to show how I did it. Okay, so I put this, see, I want this circle here, this circle shape. So I put my edge of my guide there and on there. Then I went over here and I grab my ellipse tool. I put it right here where the points come together, and then I just pull it across, and it makes it exactly the shape that I wanted right there. And then I ended up putting a stroke on it. Okay, so now one thing you'll notice, edit, and then deselect it for a second. Control D or over there. Okay, so I didn't do this one really accurate because I was in a hurry real fast. I'm not keeping it, so I just wanted to show it. But anyway, pretend it's straight. Pretend it's where it's supposed to be. But the point is, so I've got this it's overlapping inside the glass tube where you're not supposed to be able to see it. Okay, so what I would do with that is make sure I got the correct layer selected, and then I can simply select that area and just hit edit, clear. Okay, and there you go. Now it's no longer going where it's not supposed to go. But I'm not even going to use that layer. It's just to show you how I did all these circles like that. Okay, and so say this one here. So I have two of them on the same edge. Okay, so this one, you can leave these same guides on here. So say I wanted this thing here. This had a thickness to it. So what I would do is I would just simply go here, and then I would do the same thing. I would bring this in to fill in that area. Edit, stroke, and I'll have to cut it out of the same area again. deselect, and then I would, easy enough. Actually, anywhere you can't see it, I'll cut it out of all this stuff. You're not supposed to be able to see it, any of this, because it's behind this other shape. And just clear it. So that would make that shape. That's the double ringed, just like I did here. Here I just had them touch. I didn't have them touch here. But anyway. But yeah, and so I put mine are a little off right now. I just threw them in there real quick to show you. But that's basically how I did this. Okay. So that's how I put all these circles. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna continue doing this on the ones. I just wanted to show you what I'm gonna be doing, because while I'm working, you may not hear me or something, or you may have the sound mute or whatever, and you may not hear what I'm talking about. I gotta clear that out right there, and that way you kind of know what I'm doing, and you're not like, how's he doing that? You know, just in case you don't know. I'm sure you know how to do that already. But just in case, I want you to be well informed, because that's the point of this. I want you to learn from it. Okay, so. And there's a extra line here. I don't know where it's coming from, but I'll get rid of it later. Edit. Deselect. Control D. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm sorry, I just yawned in your ear and we didn't even start yet. Jeez. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, putting in these circles. So here the same thing. I just did even though it's not like that, I had to pull these, so I had to go with these a little bit. I did still going on the basic that we had used the originally used the perspective to get this room built, and then I kind of drew the drawing was based on that. So I'm pulling these nice clean curves, kind of using these, and I think it's working fine. So it looks in perspective. It's working for what I'm doing, so I won't stress too much about it. But anyway, but for these, same thing. And you have to eyeball your shape or if you wanted a complete circle, you can use the shift. That holds it a complete circle, but I'm actually working on angle and perspective warping, so I'm actually using ovals instead. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. And I might have to go back and fix some of this a little bit, but it's what I wanted. So, all right, so let's continue with what I was doing. I was way up here on one of these. This one, and the tank was just vertical. It's vertical lines. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so when it's all done, it'll look pretty cool. So I'm gonna take that one, because this box is definitely gonna be here. And I've got another box that's right here. You would never be able to see those shapes, so get rid of them. Because I still want this foreground box in here as a foreground element. Because what it does is it also provides a little bit of, if this was a game situation where you say it would give a kind of hiding place for the viewer to be behind, and that's why no one sees them. So I don't know how long this video is going to take, and I'm going to play music in a second in the background, which makes it a little bit better. It's the royalty-free music once again, so it's questionable what's good and not. But the point is, it's still something. So you're not hearing silence. So edit there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep working on this. So I've got majority of these room circles in place. Obviously, this wall doesn't dip down as much as I added here. It dips down less. It's still going to be all wall. I'll have to go and do some of the verticals. These monitors, though, I can probably figure out. These monitors could all be on a particular curve. So that's a little tricky, and I got to figure out what that curve of that would be. So I'll find one of these wall curves so I can keep it all kind of somewhat together. I'm leaving them separate layers for the moment, just because. All right, this one will work. This layer. I'm keeping these separate on purpose right now because in case I have to erase stuff or whatever. Sometimes you want different layers. So the top of this curve is going to definitely be on this thing here. And the edge of this curve, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull a curve off of this thing or not. I'm going to guess that the curve I want is going to be there. Let's try it. If it's not right, it's not right. Okay. So to get that to work, what I would do is, actually I'm going to make another layer for this. This will be tricky. So I'm going to edit. I don't even know if this will work. This is an experiment. Edit. I should have pulled it from the bottom, not the top. But we'll see what happens. Edit stroke. Okay. Edit. Flip vertical. Oops. Yeah, I wouldn't really. That's stupid of me. I realize what I just did. I did something dumb. It wouldn't really matter, would it? Select. Deselect. Okay. Grab this. Okay. Pull it up here. Now, I'm going to try to just get this curve for these monitors. Okay. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to edit, free transform it. Try to pull it. So I got the top monitors, but I definitely got to make this one. So it's going to be edit. I could try skew. I think we're going to end up going with a warp, though. Yeah. Edit. Warp. Okay, and to warp it, I'm going to grab it in the middle here. It's going to keep kicking me at it. It's going to keep beeping at me. I know it. Good. Stop beeping at me. So what I did is I grabbed the warp tool and I just pulled down in the middle of the of the shape because I'm just going to basically lower this, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be hopefully better than not having it there. As you can see, the one's higher than the other already, but this line right here, you can see it. So if I took this guide, I'll leave this alone for a minute. I just want to show you this. See this line right here? So I took this guide and I moved the guide up. Okay. Well, it is. We're looking at the room on slightly a little bit of an angle, not straight on, even though it's sort of straight on. So I guess that works. It's a little bit. See this guide right here, and this is where it overlaps, slightly askew, but it'll work. All right. So all I want this line for is for this. I'm using it to put these monitors, these monitor shapes, so that they have the same height uniformly around the room. Obviously being affected by perspective. but the height will stay the same, which is what I was going for. Oops, this monitor is gonna be off the page. This monitor. And then, say if I had a monitor back here, it would still be the same uniform height. And you could do this for like Windows too. You know what I mean? If you wanted to make windows around a room, you could do what I'm doing here. I'm actually going to, that line is going to be gone in a second. I'm just using it as a, that's more or less as a guide. Okay, I think that's good. So one more layer. Edit. I should be labeling these layers, and I'm not. Stroke. All right, so I just drew all the monitors in there. Select, deselect, and then that line. There, I got rid of it. See, now my monitors are nice and even going around the room. These are all different little evening it up tricks. It's close enough. It's close enough. I mean, it's a little off if you really wanted to look at it, but if you don't examine too closely, it'll pass. Okay. And then, while you're on that, you can continue on that same layer. And you could actually put in the rest of the monitor details. Nice straight lines. Oops. I forgot the... Yeah, I just forgot to decide. It's funny. There you go. So I can edit, stroke all those, bam, select, deselect. So now, see that? Quickly, more or less, I got nice straight lines for my monitors drawn in there. Okay, the door, same thing. That guy, that lab guy right there, he looks extremely short. I probably have this doorway way too large. That's probably why. Okay. And then edit. Stroke. And I'm going to go, there's 2 points on this one. Because it's farther back. It's just as long as it's there. Select. So. But for me, I am ruler deficient. So for me, this kind of stuff helps. Edit. Stroke. Select. I know there's probably a hotkey I could be using for stroke instead of doing what I'm doing, but whatever. All right, so now I can go through here and use that line technique to draw in a lot of this stuff. Let's see if there's a hotkey for the stroke. Nope, figures are not. That's okay. But Control D does deselect it, so that's okay. Now this is curved, so in that particular case, I won't be able to do this technique necessarily. Now, actually, this one's also got a cylinder on it, so I'm gonna have to go back and put an oval on it. But for right now, it's gonna work for what I'm doing here with the stroke. And I showed you in class. Those of you that aren't in my class, if you're watching this, I don't know if anybody watches it or not. It's not my class, but anyway, I showed you how to use the gradient tool to create three-dimensional shapes with things. Right now, I'm just doing the lines, and then I'll do the gradient shapes later. So, if you're wondering about that. So, see right here. So, what I'm going to do here, because this is supposed to be a... it's like a cylinder where the wires are coming out. Why? I keep hitting it and I don't even see it there, so it's fine. Okay, so there. Now it's the wires can come out of there. I'll have to draw the wires in, but and I had some monitors up here. We can put those in here. And we're going to use this ceiling line as our guide. And then this one here. Severely moves that monitor, doesn't it? But that's okay. At least it'll be kind of in perspective. Oops. Alright, so there's a couple monitors there. Edit. Stroke those. And then put some, deselect those. Put some little bit of thickness to them. Even though modern day monitors are getting thinner and thinner. So if this was like really advanced, these monitors might be super thin. But I'm going to put a little bit of thickness on them just for, just so they have some texture to them when you draw them. So, see, they have something to them. And then there is some background stuff here on this thing. Like the mounting parts or something, I don't know. Oops. Edit. I could draw that in. I just, since I'm over here messing around with this thing. This tool. Okay, so I'm supposed to put some music on for you. Let me put the music on while I continue doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to continue using my polygonal lasso tool to create shapes to make sure that they are in nice straight lines. Now, as far as them being in perspective, I kind of tried to figure all that out, so hopefully I already got it right. I'm going to use a guide right here to make sure this line connects with the other one. This is actually going to go all the way over to this edge of the I just can't. Sometimes you've got to hit enter to get that thing to line up. Not sure if this track Yeah, this track definitely does not look like it's in the right spot. Grab another guide here. Oops. There you go. Yeah, see, I was way off. So just the guide helped me out. Show me where this thing is in perspective. Undo those. So, all right. So, move these little guidelines out of the way. I might need them again, and they're not hard to make, but I don't know. Okay. So this side is supposed to have another track over here. That's the two sides of that track, that piece of track. So I'll put the track in, right? The arm has a track on it. I need the track. I don't know why this track is thick and the other one is thin. Two pieces of thin track. It's okay though. It's fine. Do what I need it to do. So, and following that curve, I assume it's going to be this. Let's see how good I was on guessing on that. Let's grab another one. It wasn't that bad. Even this one's funny. It's close enough. It'll work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just... I'm not doing a mechanical drawing here, so... Clear guides. Yeah, it'll work. So it's the track for this armature to move back and forth. It connects to the wall here. What else can I draw straight lines on? I got a lot of stuff to draw straight lines on, actually. Okay, so this computer console right here. This song sucks. It really does. I'll change it. Didn't work, did it? Just one side. The song's driving me crazy. I get rid of the song. Oh, jeez, oh Pete, that song sucked. Okay, it was like the worst. Alright, let's do one side of this at a time. Alright, let's just put this box in here. Edit. Stroke. Edit. Stroke. Deselect. Alright, that way I got the shape in there more or less. I think I did this side of it already, but we'll be safe. Do it again. Edit. Stroke. Okay. Edit. Clear. Oops. I didn't mean to undo it. I meant to deselect it, unclear it. Okay. Alright, so I got another box down here, so let's go ahead and do it too. All these straight edges, get them done and out of the way. Man, a hotkey for the stroke would help. I know I can make one, but you know, I just don't. Sometimes I just don't feel like being that technical. Okay, once again, this song blows as well. started out okay. It got bad. There we go. Still better than the other one. So, I had a couple. I stroked that. I think I did. So I had a couple lines here. Stroke those. Alright. So, and I don't think I've ever seen, I'm sure somebody must do what I'm doing. Because it just makes sense to do it. But I really can't think of any tutorials where I've seen anybody doing this. Maybe it's not a good idea. I don't know. So like I said, this is a curve, so I can't put the straight line tool on it, but I can do straight lines on this, more or less. This just is it's fine. It's just some background design work. One. Well, it's 1 pixel, 1 and 2, at least. So, okay. Once again, so this is just some kind of a shape here. Following the perspective lines. Try to do a couple of these so that I can save time so I'm not hitting stroke on a bunch of random stuff. And when it's curved, a little short distance, you won't notice it. If you do, I'll fix it. I'll draw it back in. But I'm just putting in areas that I can, when I hit the stroke, it's not just, I'm not hitting it so many times that it takes more time. So like this leg is not, this person's leg is not totally straight, but that should pretty much work. It's not perfect, it's not perfect. Just like, there you go. Pretty straight lines. It works. For the most part, it looks, it adds a technological feel to it if the lines are straight. And I know I can just be shifting these, but actually the way I'm doing it, I can do a bunch at once. this thing, I don't know what this thing was, but just something I put there. A little thing, whatever the thing is, I don't know. These are some kind of controls. This is like a keyboard or something here. And then a lot of pipes. Just straight line pipe. We use this, guys. Security person's arms. Stopping point for these panels. Random just comic book nonsense lines to make it look like something's going on for interest on the texturing. Just have some texturing on the walls. Something's going on. More texturing. Oops. Alright. So this will be a lot of the straight line stuff that I'm doing now. I'll do a lot of it on here. A lot of it on that armature to get straight lines. This is just filler. Look at some type of technology. So, that's all it is. I could put, you go grab some textures and put them in there. Look like some technology or something, but for the moment, I'll just put these lines in and see how it looks. If it doesn't look good, then I'll try something else. I mean, can't really hurt anything. I have another monitor back here. I guess I should have included in my. Alright, so that's good for the moment. Let's go ahead and don't lose all the selections. Alright, select, deselect. Alright, so yeah, already we got more stuff going on there. It looks better. Right? It's all nice straight lines too. That's the best part. So that's a way, it's a little gimmick you can use. Use that polygonal selection tool. Make lines and straight lines. And I'm always talking about other programs other than Photoshop while I'm using Photoshop. Yeah, other programs have better ruler tools and stuff, but just do not like Photoshop rulers tools. But anyway, but the point is, so this is supposed to be a follow a curve along the wall here. spots in there to make it. We'll do a selection. I'll do a takeaway just so it has the shape in there. I just need a little bit of a shape in there, just so it'll stroke the edge of it. See, and then as an edge for it to stroke. So he has some kind of a thing he's working on here. We'll go ahead and put it in the, and I'll just erase where he's going to be at. Trying to drive around his silhouette. And then this thing is like an armature that the monitor's on. I'm just going to simply build a little bit of one right now. I can fix it with more details a little bit. This was some type of a machine of some sort here. I don't know what it did. I think I said it was a EKG machine earlier, but maybe they got to bring the robot to life or something with it. You never know. This is your imagination, you know. Make whatever you want. When I used to play when I was a kid, I took my playing very serious, so my stories all had a beginning and ending, and then the freeform play came in the middle of it. How we ended up at those, how you ended up at the, you started with the beginning, you had a premise and a plot to the story that you'd play on, and then I had a predetermined ending. I knew how it was going to end, and then the freeform of the imaginary story came. What happened between those two parts? Okay. So as long as you stayed within the story, and didn't do anything that was something that broke the story and the continuity of it, whatnot. I was really into this. I don't know. This was fun to me as a kid, making up stories and staying kind of, there's still physics applied to a certain thing, unless there was magic or whatever. I'm weird, but this is what I did. So anyway, but I didn't play with some kids because they couldn't. They honestly they couldn't grasp what I was doing. They couldn't come up with a good idea. They couldn't follow the storylines. They kept wanting to break the storyline with ideas that weren't good. And, can't have that. It's weird, but... So certain kids, I got along great because we could play together because they could follow the storylines. They understood, they understood a good story. I know that sounds so bizarre because I see some kids playing and it's so random, and I'm like, which is cool, but at the same time, I don't know. I liked my plots. I liked my imaginary stories to have a storyline, if you will. I know, it sounds so weird even when I'm saying it. I'm like, what? How a weird kid was I? I didn't realize I was that weird. Now that I say it, it does sound bizarre. I remember one kid, to this day it still irritates me. He was insistent that he had a nuclear, which I probably say that wrong, bullet. And I was like, dude, I didn't say dude because it sounds like dude was a word then, but whatever. But I was like, you can't have that. There's no way you can have a nuclear bullet. I was like, you don't understand. And he was insistent that he wanted a nuclear bullet. And I was like, okay, well then what's the point of us playing that, we're in this, whatever, in this, I don't even know what the game, what scenario, what storyline we had going. But a nuclear bullet would totally ruin everything, so I remember saying, okay, well then we're not going to play. I'm just not going to play. Because it says you can't have that. And then for the rest of the day, we were just mad at each other. We never did play anything. Because I refused to allow a nuclear, and I'm, once again, probably saying it wrong. thought that was the most outrageously silly thing I'd ever heard in my life. Sounds funny. I was a weird kid, wasn't I? You're just now realizing? Yes. I'm just now realizing how weird of a kid I actually was. Okay, so I'm going through and putting in more of these lines. These nice straight lines will help me. Work out my robot because he just multi-clicking as I move it to try to get a little bit of a curve in there. Didn't work too bad actually. But all these straight lines. So this one's curved, so what I'm doing is I'm slowly moving and clicking as I go. I'll fix it with a better curve later. But it is close enough that I just wanted this top and this bottom straight line is what I wanted. Sure, I'll have to go back and put some more straight lines in later, but this will get me started. No idea what this is right here. But it's something, right? Okay, this is the side finger. I recognize what this is. I should move closer to it. So I'm go ahead and stroke all that. Edit. Stroke. Edit. Deselect. Yeah, so that got a lot of the stuff in. Yeah, it's a quick way to build stuff. See that? Alright, so then this stuff I can go in and fix all these little things later, but let's put some nice straight lines in where I need them to get me started. Right here's definitely needs this needs another curve, but so what I'm doing, like once again, I'm actually clicking, pulling the edge and just clicking along the. It's straight, but it's small increments of straight, so not so noticeable. But it's give me the edge I wanted, the straight edge, which is kind of the point. Fix everything I do wrong. This is a long straight line here that this spring is going up. shape out of it. So I'm going to go in and remove a portion of it right there. Alright. And it looks like, oops. Yeah. Got a couple more. Now I'm closer to it, I can see more of the straight lines that I need to finish up with. Straight lines are getting me farther along than I would have thought I would have been otherwise. Trying to draw them. Yeah, I'm using the polygonal lasso tool. Just so you know what tool I'm using. And I'm doing what I could use the, actually I should be using the pen tool, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should actually. That's actually a better idea. Use the pen tool. Alright, I think I'll do that. So I'm gonna finish this first. Forget about the pen tool. Stroke. Because I could draw this with the pen tool and then stroke it as well. Right? Yeah, you're like, I don't know, you tell me. Yeah. So, alright, well, the pen tool I'll use for this stuff here. Alright, so I got a lot of the straight lines in. Okay, so this is a whole nother arm over here. So, but actually, when I build this arm, I may take it and flip it and put it the other direction. See how it looks. If it doesn't look right, I'll change it around, but if I get this one done, this one will be closer to being done, if that makes sense. So what I think I created a problem here. Yeah. I got a convergence here, and I gotta fix it. So the only way to fix it's gonna be change this whole thing here. Make it come up higher. Because I don't want it converging, and it's still too much of a convergence there. So convergence where two things come together that aren't supposed to be. That's the back of the room, and that's the edge of this thing. So really don't want those two things coming together. Okay. So if nothing else, I'll just do this. Oops. This one's got a pen tool would be a better tool to be using right now. We'll see how that looks. I can fix it. Because let me explain what I'm talking about with that convergence. So what happens is this line back here has nothing to do with this line. That's in the back, this is in the front. But because they came together at the exact same spot, that's a no-no. It causes confusion. So a no-no. That's a no-no. Let's find out where that line is. Let's see what we can do about it. Right above the one I was on. I think that line that's left behind is the, see how it was exactly the same spot as the other one? Yeah, that's the old edge I put here, see? See that? so it would cause confusion. Get it out of there, and I'll fix this one. Fix this line. But, like I said, I think I might switch to the pen tool for that. Alright, so the pen tool will help me get all this technical edges good. Alright, so, yeah, so these lines, this armature and this, so these lines are converging. I don't want them, I don't want to flatten them yet. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to make another layer. The pen tool is actually going to make its own paths anyway. So with Photoshop, you're making paths with the pen tool. You're not actually making anything. So you have to stroke everything later. But let's go ahead and do it. So I got the pen tool going. And let's do these. Let's start with these pipes on the ground first for the pen tool. Alright, so the secret to the pen tool is that, oops, I went over too far. The secret to the pen tool is that you, and I see this, a lot of students do this. They go click, 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 click. Don't do that. In fact, try to make as few of these as you can. I had to make a few right there just because it was bending around that. And this one I actually still got to move a little bit. So I need this direct select tool. I just need to pull this one up. It's not going to go down that far. I had it like drop to the floor. It's not really the case. Go down a little bit, but not that much. Here it's going to actually curve a little bit, yeah, because it changes directions right here. So right here it's going to slightly change directions a little bit. All right. Because it's curving over something here, falling over the edge of this. It's coming over this and it's hitting another tube right here, which is going to go under here. So that's okay. So now what we're going to do is, can I stroke this? Usually once you do a path, let's see if it lets me stroke. See, yeah, because it's nothing to stroke. See, that's what I thought. So what you gotta do with this is you gotta go into the channels, and actually I need my, not channels, maybe it's in here, paths, there it goes. Yeah, there it is. So that is path. I click on it and I just say stroke the path. Simulate pressure, sure, why not? See what it does. Using my brush. What's my brush? I don't know what my brush is set at right now. I'm gonna say okay, but I don't know what my brush is set at. Brush. I don't know what my brush was set. 4 at 100% opacity. Okay. Well, let's try this again. Stroke the path with the brush. Should be there, I just can't see it. So now I'm going to make a selection. That's also what you can also do that. I don't want to feather it at all, so that's also selection. And you can just do that too. You can stroke that too. There you go. So made the pipe. See that? I'll go back to grab my pen tool again. Now this works great if you are familiar and used to using the pen tool. Some students don't like the pen tool. Some artists don't like the pen tool. The pen tool is actually, I used to not like the pen tool. But I quickly learned that the pen tool is pretty much awesome. You truly can draw almost anything with the pen tool once you learn to master it, or at least get pretty good at it. Like I said, one of the biggest mistakes about the pen tool is putting in too many points. Now I know I got a few in here because I actually changed directions a little bit, and I was trying to figure out where I was going with this when I did it. This one right here, I should probably just get rid of it. I don't need it. Alright, so I'm in my path. This makes a new working path. I can stroke it, or I'll just make it a selection. And then I'll just stroke that instead. Stroke. There you go. Alright. So, as soon as I make a work path, it'll go over top of the old one. So layers. Yeah, let's put it on layer 12. So what I'll do is I just go in here. This tube goes under, this pipe goes under that one. So make sure I remember that. Okay. And I gotta fix it a little bit right here. But not too bad. And see, this doesn't look good. I thought that wouldn't look good, but we can fix it. So what it would actually do is it would actually be going, oops. I'm working on the mouse and I move the, oops, I killed the music. That's okay. That song sucked anyway. What I actually want to go on here is I want it to be going down and up like that. It goes over this edge, down and over that edge. There it goes. So it does have a little bit of an overhang there. Take off the smoothing for a minute so it doesn't affect my eraser. Oh, I see what's going on. This is where it looks funky. Yeah, there it goes. That was the funkiness. I knew something was going on there weird. There it goes. Make sure that's all. It's hard to say because I got... Oh yeah, I gotta fix this too. So, right here. Goes down and turns. There you go. Like I said, hard to say because I got layers upon layers of old drawings under it. So let's see if I can find that original drawing layer. It's got to be one of these. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's got my gradient in there. Yeah, I'll clean it up. Okay, so there you go. There's the new pipes I put in. So, all right, I'll continue doing that on the pen tool. Pen tool. Okay, and I'll fix that in a minute. All right. And then I'll go here and grab this. Sorry about that, guys. And it screwed up my entire line just now. All right, I'll probably have to pause the video. Take care of that. They're just gonna keep calling. It's a friend of mine. Okay. All right, so go to path. Make that a selection. Okay. Go back to layer. Edit. Stroke. Okay. Select, deselect. All right. So with that, I'm going to pause my video. Okay, I'm back. I had to take care of a few things. Okay, so we're good. So this has been about an hour, so I'm gonna probably stop on this video and start another one. That way you can break it up into different pieces. So I'm gonna end this video right here. I didn't realize it had been an hour. And I'm gonna start the next one in just a minute. And I'm just gonna continue right from where I'm at. But that way you can stop the video and come back to it later, or watch the second one later on. All right. So, thanks.